We are here with Vince Streukens with Ride for Dads. Welcome.
Thank you.
So what is Ride for Dads?
Well, the Motorcycle Ride for Dad is a group that we have together in Saskatoon that organizes a motorcycle ride every year and raises funds for research to find a cure for prostate cancer and also for education and awareness, so that we get men to go out there to know how important it is to get checked so that they don't end up being a casualty.
That's for sure. Cancer, yeah. Yes. So what do you do with the Ride for Dads?
Well, I'm the ride captain, so my job is to organize the ride, set up, the location. We have usually a loop ride that goes about 200 or so kilometers, and on that there's a lunch stop. So my job is to kind of get that started and organized, and get a parade organized that we run through town just before we go out in the country and do the loop.
Okay, so how many people would come out for that?
Well, we've had as many as 550, but often it's 250 to 300. Mm-hmm. Seems in Saskatoon we're blessed with rain every year. The one year we didn't get it, that was the high numbers that we had.
Mm-hmm. And so do you have it at a specific time of the year, or?
Our ride is always, the ride in Saskatoon is always the Saturday just before Father's Day. We think it's important that families are together. So in 2018, the ride is going to be on the 16th of June, Saturday the 16th of June.
Well, people should mark that on their calendars already.
They should.
And I know that you're looking for volunteers. How can people help you?
Well, we sure need help with our executive committee. I know that people volunteer for a period of time and then they move on, and we're in dire straits actually right now. I'm not sure whether we're going to have a ride in 2019 unless we have some more people to help us out with the executive committee. There's a bunch of jobs, not really complicated. They take up some time, but more time than the people that we have can do it. So
we'll talk a little bit about those jobs so that if people are listening today, maybe they can phone you and help you out.
Well, we kind of need a bookkeeper, and we need a person to oversee the whole thing. We also need people to look after like a sponsorship, coordinating the sponsorships, keeping a list, going out and getting new sponsors and stuff, and those are big jobs, and and those of us that are there are tied up with stuff as well. So
do people pay a fee to ride, or how does that work?
Well, what happens is people go out and get a pledge sheet and collect donations, and then they come out on the ride. The ride leaves, starting with the parade from the Western Development Museum, travels through to downtown and then up Spadina Crescent, arriving at Lawson Mall around, just around 11:30 or so. From there we go on the ride route. So there's a poker run. People get poker cards along the way. There's a barbecue lunch stop, and usually a closing ceremonies where we give prizes out to people who want to attend that, and from there we take the donations, and like I say, we split them up into either the money goes to support education and awareness, or goes to provide money for research to find a cure for prostate cancer.
Well, that's a very important work that you're doing. And why is this ride so meaningful to you?
Well, I guess I'm a prostate cancer survivor, and I think it's important for men to know how essential it is to get checked. After 40 years old, a person should be getting checked yearly, and that's all it is. Prostate cancer is a very common cancer amongst men, and a yearly check is pretty sufficient to catch it early on. If you get caught early on, then your treatment options are wide open. Probably because of my involvement with the ride, I understood the importance of being checked early, and I was diagnosed really early, and as a result, treatment options were wide open, and I chose one that was not very invasive, and as a result, I'm considered cured, which I'm happy to say.
Well, very happy for you. I'm glad you're here to share that important information to so many people. And do you have to is the ride just for men, or? Oh
no, we have women riders. Certainly, it would be a not very correct to say that only men are affected, because, you know, if a man gets prostate cancer, his family is affected too.
Oh, sure, exactly.
So the fact is, though, that between 1 in 6 and 1 in 7 men in their lifetime will come down with it. So we don't know who it's going to be. We just know that that's the fact. We know that every year in Saskatchewan there are several hundred men diagnosed with prostate cancer. The ones that are the real winners are the ones that are diagnosed early. And so that's why we encourage a little bit of education, encourage people to get checked yearly. So if they do get diagnosed, that they can be treated successfully.
And that is so important. So even if you're not feeling sick, because you said you didn't have any symptoms?
No, I didn't have symptoms, what occurred with me was I went in for a checkup, and my doctor did the simple rectal exam and a blood test, and the blood test showed that the numbers were a little bit high. The specific test is called a PSA test, and your number should be under 4. Well, if it's over 4, then, you know, the doctor needs to pay attention to that, so I was sent for a biopsy, and sure enough, there was a tiny bit of cancer on the right-hand side of my prostate. From there, it went really quickly, but of course, the issue is getting checked early, getting checked and found out early. So,
and that's so important.
But
yes.
You know, and by the time the symptoms arrive, maybe it would have been advanced, and you know, treatment options would have been limited.
So even if you're feeling well, you should have a yearly medical.
You should have a yearly medical and a PSA test and a rectal exam done. Right?
Perfect, perfect. So let's talk about this poster you brought in. It's called Prostate Cancer, Survive and Thrive. And what's this about?
Well, you know, this is one of the ways that one of the projects that we fund. This is a morning seminar for people who have prostate cancer, who, whether they've been treated or not, or for their families. It's information to assist in, I don't know, it's information. It's good information. The speaker this year is from Vancouver, well-known speaker and very knowledgeable at the topic. They often have a board that features other speakers that have interesting areas that pertain to prostate cancer. It's a free event. It's on Saturday morning, let me see, the 4th of November at the Radisson Hotel, and you know, they include a breakfast, coffee, tea, whatever, and it's just the morning, but it's really informative. I've been to, I think, all of them, and I'm sure going this year again.
Well, good. And so the purpose of it is for fundraising, or education?
No, it's an education event that we fund with some of the money that we get from pledges.
And so that's what you use the money for your Ride for Dads.
We also use it for research. Some of the research we funded in the last couple of years. One project is to determine methods of helping our body assimilate medications that are effective against cancer. There's resistance in cells to anti-cancer medications, and of course that reduces the effectiveness of the medication. So one of the research projects that we recently funded was to find ways that can allow that medication, or to reduce the resistance of cells, to allow that medication into the cell to do the work that it's designed to do. There's a few other projects. One that I know about was that there's a way you can heat up. They believe there's a way that you can heat up surrounding cells, cells in a body, and it will create other cells in the surrounding areas that will come in and attack cancer tumors. So you know, we think that the cure is out there. We just have to fund projects and fund research that hopefully will find a cure not too far down the road.
Well, and that's why I wanted to have you on my show, because you rock, because you're here to educate people. You're here to ride, to raise money for prostate cancer, so that is so important. And you're looking for volunteers, so who could they phone, or how could they get a hold of you?
Well, you know, they can go on our website, our website, better yet, our Facebook site. I believe it's Motorcycle Ride for Dad, Saskatoon chapter. There's information about what we're doing, when our meetings are, what we're up to, and some contact information. Certainly can contact me. If you'd like, my phone number is 306-241-8648, and I'll be happy to steer you in the right direction.
Well, that's wonderful. And so you need help in all areas, male, female?
Anybody at all is helpful. We have people on our committee that don't ride a motorcycle, but you know, maybe their father or grandfather was affected by cancer, so it makes no difference. We're happy to help, to have the help.
Okay, so again, give us your phone number again in case people want to get a hold of you.
It's
for more information.
306-241-8648.
Well, I'm very glad to have you on my show, and encourage everyone to go to this wonderful lecture, Prostate Cancer, Survive and Thrive. And you want to say again when the date is so people can come?
The date's on November 4th this year at the Radisson Hotel. It starts, I think, at 7:30 a.m. and it's over at noon.
So you get a breakfast. So again, thank you very much for being on my show.
Thank you.
You're welcome.